I am Meredith Egan, CEO, United Way of Indian River County. So, we are so incredibly appreciative of United Way Worldwide's leadership and guidance as we move into this next phase of transformation for our work. So what a year it has been for our community. 7 days before Hurricane Milton changed everything for our neighbors, I stood in this exact spot talking to you about United Way's work. Today, I stand before you with proof of why that work matters, not just in calm times, but especially when life's storms come around. When you flip a light switch, you don't think about a power grid. When you turn on a faucet, you don't consider the water treatment plant. When Hurricane Milton's tornadoes tore through our community, you didn't have to wonder if help would come because the infrastructure was already in place. That infrastructure is United Way. The infrastructure only works when it's strategically invested in and carefully tended to. We are not the visible charity handing out meals or opening shelter doors. We are the invisible force that makes those meals possible and keeps those shelters connected and coordinated. We are the community's problem-solving engine, running 24/7 in the background, ensuring that when a crisis strikes, whether it's a family facing eviction or a Category 3 hurricane, the response is swift, coordinated, and effective. So let me take you back to October 2024. As the tornadoes touched down, the largest outbreak in Florida's history, chaos does not begin to describe what unfolded. If you had asked me on the spot, how is United Way going to respond over the next few days? Admittedly, I would not have had an answer, but we said yes. Here's what I witnessed. When infrastructure is already in place, when relationships are already built, when systems are already tested, communities don't just survive disasters. We respond with extraordinary speed and precision. The response plan was abundantly clear when I looked at our list of partnerships, people like you. By the time the tornadoes and bands were moving offshore, we had raised over $1 million in partnership with Jeff Pickering. Not in weeks, not in days, overnight. Why? Because the community trusted us to act quickly and to coordinate across an entire system. Within 4 days, we had established the Multi-Agency Resource Center, United Against Poverty, with FEMA representation, national relief disaster organizations like the Red Cross, the Cajun Navy, Amazon, Catholic Charities, and Team Rubicon immediately on the scene. That's not luck, that's infrastructure. And when I say we, I mean all of us, the collective, because it took partnerships to accomplish what we did. We served nearly 2,000 people in those early days at the Mark. We installed tarps on roofs, mobilized volunteers, distributed tons of food, and connected nearly 100 individuals with counseling services. We coordinated temporary housing for displaced families with the Jackie Robinson Training Center. We provided hundreds of families with additional support, including rent and utility assistance, as well as replacement of household items. Still today, through our Anchor initiative, the Action Network for Community Hope and Organized Recovery, that work continues to repair roofs, replace windows, clean up fallen trees, and treat mold, still a year later. What matters most is that we could respond because the work was already underway. Our partnerships with local government, our network of 36 partner agencies was all already in place. And when the community needed everyone the most, you all rose to that challenge. Milton exposed something we see every day, the fragility of our Alice families, those earning too much for public assistance, but not enough for stability. Whether you're living paycheck to paycheck, losing power for days and an entire refrigerator of food isn't just inconvenient, it's devastating to your monthly budget. With schools closed, parents couldn't work, and wages were lost. Whether or not families suffered home damage, the cascading effects impacted their finances for months. This is the reality we face every day here in Indian River County. We have the 10th largest income gap in the nation. The top 1% earn nearly $3 million a year. The rest, on average, around $40,000. These families don't experience challenges one at a time. They're compounding and they're constant. That's why United Way doesn't chase single-issue fixes. We build the infrastructure that prevents the cascading failure. Our access to justice centers, the first and only of its kind in all of Florida, has served nearly 3,600 clients in 2 years who have been facing family law issues and evictions. Our VITA tax program has secured $1.3 million in tax credits and put $1.94 million in refunds back into about 2,500 local households. Our network of 48 programs across 36 partner agencies creates that safety net that works to catch families before they fall. We are the convener that gets the right people in the same room and keeps them there until something changes. We are the force multiplier, turning every donated dollar into new partnerships and greater funding for our community. We are the trusted steward, ensuring community dollars produce measurable results. More importantly, we're the catalyst who turns good ideas into community-wide solutions. We operate in a county of 900 nonprofits. Many of you in the room represent them, raising approximately $384 million annually. Indian River County ranks 8th in Florida for giving. It's a very generous community. The question isn't whether we are charitable. The question is whether we're strategic. We can give to a food pantry that addressed immediate hunger, and you can invest in United Way to address the wages, the transportation, and the childcare issues that contribute to ongoing food insecurity. You can support disaster relief to contribute to short-term recovery efforts, and you can invest in United Way to build resilience and infrastructure that mobilizes faster, coordinates better, and rebuilds stronger. You can fund individual programs with specific needs. That, of course, is necessary. And you can invest in United Way to strengthen the entire network that helps families thrive. Convening partners, building strategic alliances, co-creating holistic solutions, that's what United Way does, bringing the right people to the table to tackle our community's most complex challenges. This is what United Way was built for. Hurricane Milton didn't just test our disaster response, it proved our model. When national organizations need to know where to deploy resources, they look for United Way. When families need help navigating multiple systems, they come to United Way. When other nonprofits need partners and brain power, they come to United Way. When communities need to rebuild stronger, they invest in United Way. Here's something I want you to understand. We do not consider ourselves disaster responders. What you witnessed during Milton was simply our daily work amplified on a very large scale. The coordination, the partnership, the rapid response, that's United Way, every day, standing with families through life's storms, not just big disasters. We've, of course, appreciated the recognition that our work has received over the past year. The community saw us in action, and for once, the behind-the-scenes infrastructure was visible and celebrated. But we cannot rest on our laurels. We can't let the visibility fade when the crisis passes. The system that mobilized $2 million in disaster relief in weeks is the same system that invests $1.5 million annually in preventing homelessness, in supporting quality early childhood education, and increasing access to primary and mental health care. The partnerships that coordinated 1,700 people moving through the MARC to receive services are the same partnerships that help tens of thousands of our neighbors access education, financial stability, and health care every single year. Our community's immediate and generous disaster response shows what we are capable of in a time of crisis. However, meeting our fundraising goals for sustaining programs that we are currently supporting and scaling them is equally critical. If prevention, treatment, and crucial social services are not appropriately invested in, our capability and our resilience is diminished, and the next crisis hits harder. I need 2 people from every table to stand and take the hands. Little hands. Okay, so if you are standing, you have been lent a hand and helped by United Way with a direct service or a partner program. Look around the room. That represents 42,500 people in our county. It's not just numbers that matter. It's the infrastructure we've built to reach out to them. You can go ahead and sit. Thank you. When you support United Way, you're not just funding another charity, you're capitalizing on the backbone infrastructure that enables dozens of other programs to work together as a system rather than in silos. You're ensuring that when the next disaster strikes, whether natural or man-made, and there will be a next time, the community is ready. A week before Milton, I told you about our work. Today I'm showing you our results. Not just in disaster relief, but in preparedness. Not just in crisis reaction, but in prevention. Not just in emergency relief, but in building community resilience. We don't just show up when disaster strikes. We're here every day preparing for what's next. We are the infrastructure that makes so much possible. This year was not all storm clouds. We had so much to celebrate. Led by Florida's Superintendent of the Year, Dr. David Moore. Our incredible school district earned an A rating for the 3rd year in a row, and now is the 5th highest school district in all of Florida. The county celebrated the centennial in spectacular fashion and broke ground on the long-awaited Gifford Gardens. And possibly most exciting, we brought back the cherished Jackie Robinson baseball game to Holman Stadium. The question isn't whether you believe in a better Indian River County. The question is whether you'll support the infrastructure that makes our community more effective, more coordinated, and more impactful. United Way is that infrastructure. We're the force that brings the whole community together to solve problems that are too big for any one organization. We align partners, target investments where data shows the greatest need, and build systems that help local programs succeed. That is what United Way is built for. This is why your continued support is critical for the prosperity of our entire community. Together, we're not just weathering the storms, we're building the resilience to thrive in the face of them. Thank you.